All right, continuing on with our home buying process, we now have the home inspection. How a home inspection works. Now, one thing I want to point out right from the get-go is a home inspector's job is to find something wrong with the home. Not everything needs to be replaced. We should never ask for a complete bathroom remodel because the bathroom sink is dripping. We don't want to insult. We just want to do what's right and get a good, solid home. It's no sense in beating people up, especially when tables are turned. If you're the seller, you're not going to like it much either. But if it's structural damage or something that will prevent you from not getting insurance on the home, absolutely. A lot of things they'll point out a home inspector will be cosmetic as well. Just so you're aware of it, sometimes they'll refer to it as a little handyman to-do list. Can you still purchase the home? Absolutely. Can we still negotiate the repairs? Absolutely. We can maybe ask for a seller credit or maybe, touch up a few other things. Again, a good experienced agent can help navigate the process for you and let you know what's super important. So it does evaluate the condition and the safety of the property. Some things they'll examine is the structural components, such as the roof, foundation, basement, if there's one, exterior, interior, chimney doors, and windows. There's also another report called a 4-point inspection that your insurance company, at least here in the state of Florida, is going to require, which covers the 4 points, the roof, the electric, the plumbing, and the HVAC. That is the main things the insurance company wants to know. And if you're getting a loan, you cannot get the loan without the insurance. And truth be told, if you're buying a home cash, you should really get insurance, and they're going to require that. Where, as you see, there's part of it here, the heating and cooling, the plumbing, the electrical work, that's all part, plus the roof is the 4-point. Water, sewage damage, and major appliances. So what does it cost? Now, this is part of your closing cost. However, you will have to pay for this at the time. Like, they're not going to give you the home inspection report and then trust that you'll pay them at closing. That's not how this works. They're independent contractors and they're going to need to be paid right then. So this is part of your closing cost. I'll get into later. I think the next video I'm going to do is about appraisals. That's a cost, but sometimes that can be rolled into your closing cost. Home inspection, you got to have the money up front. And on average, the cost ranges between, say, $300 to $600 in Florida. It'll vary from place to place depending on the property size and the type of inspections you're performing. Additional services, which could really drive the price up, is radon testing, mold. If it has a pool, I highly suggest you get the pool also inspected. Termite inspection, septic system, if it's on septic. This can all make the home inspection cost a little more, but it's an investment, and you probably want to get these things, or at least the majority of them. Like I said, if you have a pool, I definitely recommend getting that, or a septic system, get that inspected. I've seen many septic tanks almost caving in. Thank goodness we had the buyer I was able to talk into, or they already came in knowing to have the septic tank inspected as well. And so what they look for, they put their, it looks like hazmat suits on. If they got to crawl underneath a home or go up in an attic, they get all over the home. They'll walk on the roof. They're everywhere. They check everything for you, which is great, right? That's what you want. And then we can all decide what we should ask for, if anything, after the home inspection. But they examine is the structural features, like the foundation, floor, stairs, walls, ceiling. Those are part of the safety, right? The mechanical, like plumbing and HVAC, the roof, attic, visible insulation, I'll let you know how much you have up there, basement and crawl spaces, ventilation, framing, all this drainage, making sure the gutters, everything. Safety issues is huge, and anything that can affect the value of the property. Now, what they don't look for is pest control. That's a separate one. You would call a pest company or a termite company in. Swimming pools. Some home inspectors now do pools, but that is additional, like I mentioned in the other slide. It's not your standard home inspection. If you want asbestos or radon gas, These things here are extra and different. There's always somebody that can test this for you, but this does not come in your standard home inspection. Lead-based paint or lead paint, those are primarily in homes built before 1978. They don't, test the soil, warped floors, hazardous material like formaldehyde, etc. They also don't test every light bulb in the home. They don't break open walls or examine the electric, and they don't dig into the underground to get to the septic. If there is one, again, that's a specific separate inspection, normally done by a septic company. Most home inspectors do not do septic tanks, at least that I work with or I'm aware of. But like I said, some are starting to include a pool inspection. Again, I can help you with that. I can recommend some great inspectors. Or if you're buying somewhere else, again, reach out, rely on that agent that especially has that experience. So when it's all said and done, they will go over it if you are there, and I'll go over that the next slide. They will give you a detailed inspection report that comes with photos. It's nicely laid out. It's easy to read. At least the inspectors I recommend, I refer out. I love them. I think they give great rates, professionals. Oftentimes my buyers will later refinance or do something to the home and they'll call them back. They love them so much. These reports are really nice too. Sometimes you get some inspectors that get these crazy reports. It scares the crap out of everyone, and it's just very stressful. You want a good home inspector too, and the reports are huge. You want it to be honest and reliable, and like I said, it'll include photos. 9 times out of 10 included as well. You don't know what it looks like in the attic or the roof. Having a photo helps. And then what happens is they send it out. I usually ask your permission if they can send it to me as well. That way we can both go over the report together. Now, who should attend? Well, I always attend all my home inspections, every one of them. If you, the buyer I'm working with, are in town, I highly suggest you or someone from your family to come as well. Why? Is because you can see if there's any damage firsthand. You can ask the inspector questions. Normally they'll go through the property. It can take like 2 to 3 hours. And then at the end, instead of keep breaking it up throughout the day, they would never get through. It'd be like 5 hours, man. So at the end, they'll go over it. They'll walk you back through the property and highlight the areas they're going to put on the report. That, like I said, oftentimes will include the photos as well. Or say it's up on the roof or in the attic, they'll show you on their camera. They'll show you the photo right then and there. And then you'll get the report and have a much better idea of what they meant. And then if you still have questions, the ones I refer out are amazing. You can even call them and they'll help walk you through it again over the phone. If there's something you just couldn't wrap your head around. Well, hopefully we don't show you a home that's crazy, that we're not even sure about this crazy home inspection need. Anything's possible, right? And sometimes the listing agent will attend. I prefer they don't, or if they do attend, I will take the home inspector and the buyer off to the side to go over the report. I don't need the listing agent to hear anything until we're ready to present it to them. And I suggest you do the same with your agent if you're not buying in my area or not using me as your agent. If the listing agent and or seller who has every right to stay in their home is there when you go over the report, please excuse yourself and let them know you're going to go over the report with the home inspector, and we will let you know if there's anything we're going to ask for. So in summary, while it's not mandatory, it is strongly recommended that the buyer order an inspection and attend the home inspection. That's right. You do not have to have a home inspection. Highly recommended. So much. If you decide not to have one when working with me, I will ask you to sign a waiver saying you turned it down. That's how important I feel it is. Now, you will still need to have that 4-point. It's oftentimes a separate fee. It's like $75 in my area, but that's because your insurance company, if you're getting insurance, is going to request that. But you don't have to have the full-blown one. It can be a crucial step in the home buying process and provide valuable information for making an informed decision. Again, highly, highly recommend you have a home inspection.